Welcome back to episode 31 of the Quarantine Cast here on Beyond the Brick. I'm Joshua Hanlon, joined as always by the one and only Bricks O'Brien, looking very confused. This is just a normal Tuesday for him. We'll get him somewhere eventually. Don't worry, folks. But we've got some more exciting building and chatting. I'm finally going to finish the Pirates of Barracuda Bay set today, so let's jump on into it. Have you figured out that we're on YouTube yet, Brian?
I'm sorry, what? I thought we were on Flickr.
Yes. Oh
that's
man,
where all the assholes are, right? That's where they are, you know.
It's true. You got to get the people. I mean, we've added Periscope and Twitch. We got to get the people on Flickr.
now we need the Flickr peeps. They should not go to Instagram like normal people. They should stay on Flickr, and we need to go to Flickr.
I wish StreamYard would let us stream to Instagram, but I don't think you can. I think you can't use any like third party thing to stream to Instagram.
No, on Instagram the live streams are more for like a quick 15-minute thing, not an hour and a half plus podcast.
That's true.
If you want to call this a podcast, I don't know what you want to call this at this point.
Whatever this thing is.
Whatever it is, man.
I'm excited to finally. It's going to be the conclusion of Barracuda Bay. This is like week 4, I think.
You think so? You think it's the conclusion?
Yes, I'm gonna finish it this stream. We're not stopping till it's done.
Oh man,
got it laid out here. I feel like the final few steps there aren't a lot of pieces. Like the instruction booklet is getting close to running out, so I think I can do it.
Yeah, the last. I got a frog in my throat. The last bag is supplementary things to add to the ship to make it complete. So you're close.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone joining us in chat, Facebook, YouTube, all the platforms. Periscope, producer John, you should give us the Periscope numbers here soon. Actually, I can get those right here. 11 viewers on Periscope, wow. 0 on Twitch right now.
That's fine. Hey, go to twitch.tv/Beyond the Brick. Right?
Yes. Yep. Beyond the Brick.
Just because I'm on the road doesn't mean I can't keep you guys in check, especially you, Mr. Salviano. Just because you got a much more popular review video out recently than me doesn't mean you can come in here and bully me, child.
He's celebrating by road tripping to California with his successful Ghostbusters video, which if people haven't seen, it's a great video Kirk put together. Go check it out.
It is a great video. It's Kirk reaching his maximum potential. It's all downhill from here.
That's true.
That's very true.
I always forget that I can hover the cursor over the bar of viewers and it breaks it out by how many viewers we have on each platform.
Oh, that's a thing?
Yes, that is a thing I can do, and I always forget that.
Yo, what up, chat, DJ? What up?
Did we? Oh, I told John about you and Nick had mentioned last week about putting our Twitch stream into some like building category or something.
Yes.
John, were you able to figure that out? No, he couldn't figure it out.
No, I'll email. I'll send an email to John.
Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna launch in with the build. I think I'm on like the final part of the ship here, and then it'll all come together at the end. And I'm very excited. I'm hoping to have this build on display behind me when it's done. Brian's opening some parts. I think finishing his build from last week. Franco says, I told you last week that a Ghostbusters set was coming. Looks like I was right. I don't know. You know, you never know what's coming. You know, Brick Set today had a rumor about some ancient Roman monument that might be coming out. Who knows?
If you had to guess, Joshua, what do you think that could be?
Trevi Fountain.
You think it's a Trevi Fountain?
I think so.
You think it's a big, thick-looking Trevi Fountain? That's what you think it is?
Yeah.
That's what you really think it is?
Trevi Fountain isn't even an ancient Roman thing either, though, so that doesn't really work.
You could have kept rolling with it, and I would have totally been on. So you think it's going to be a colossal-sized Trevi Fountain?
They did make an architecture set of Trevi Fountain a number of years ago that was pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, there. Yeah. Right. No, you're right. You're right. Anyways, Anyways,
No, it's you know what it is. It's going to be the Spanish Steps. It's just going to be one massive 9,000 piece staircase.
well, I mean that's all fantastic. That there's like a thing that you can do with building steps, but in terms of building up your mind, we have LME Toys building your mind one brick at a time. Ash Daddy with the $15 super chat.
Ooh,
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Speaking of super chats, I had a very productive morning, got a lot of things done. Two of which actually were not one but two gift cards on their way to Brian Saviano, Bricks O'Brien, for future lunch funds. So I finally sat down and caught up on those.
Your boy's getting paid. Getting paper. Oh boy. I am just about out on that Chick-fil-A gift card. It's getting close, so I'm looking for a refill on something.
Okay, there you go. It should be coming soon.
So I was watching a Boone Builds live stream. This Boone Langston guy, he's kind of okay, and I was watching that, and he had like a couple of designers on for that Ecto 1 car.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, and there was one Chris McVeigh in the chat. And Joshua, I was very tempted to publicly call him out and say, "Hey man, when can I build your set?" And he'd be like, "What? Go to the store and buy it." And I'd be like, "No. When are you getting on the it's getting close to Christmas here. The 24-hour stream. How many quarantine casts are we away from the 24-hour? 1, 2. There's 2 left after this one. 2.
Yes.
Where's Christmas Day? Where is he?
I don't know. I actually was messaging him on Facebook yesterday. He said he's busy this week, so I asked him about joining us next week, and I'm waiting to hear back.
I don't want to publicly call out Chris McVeigh. I'm sure he's a nice guy, tremendous guy, has the spirit of Christmas in his heart, which he channeled into that Lego set. Chris, I want to build this set, man. I really want it.
I know.
If it doesn't happen before the 24-hour stream, that we'll see. But if he does end up coming onto the stream, then I'll disassemble it if it's already built by that point. So I can do it that way.
Lots of people checking in from Abu Dhabi, Philippines. Kevin Hinkle's here and says he's waiting for an update on how his $5 will be delivered to Joseph Zawada. I think we need to make a big exchange at Brick Fair, Virginia next year. So that Brick Fair, Virginia is the next Brick Fair show on the docket. It should happen, hopefully. So Brian, me, you, and Joseph, we get together and we work out the easiest way to transition the $5 to him.
Joshua, you're not going to remember your time at Brick Fair, Virginia 2021. You're not. It's going to be a blur because we're going to hit the clubs.
We are.
Right? Absolutely hitting the club. You think I'm kidding? There's going to be a section of us, and you'll know if you're involved, right? There's going to be a platoon led by myself and Vision Bricks. We're going to be in the front, and you're going to see a mob of people. Joseph Zawada's going to be in there. You're going to be in there. John, we're going to get Andres, Kevin Hinkle, the squad. And I don't want any of these fair weather people in there. I want to get just the core group, and we're going to go to the clubs in DC. It's going to be a good time.
I want to see Vision clubbing in DC. I feel like he would be amazing to watch at a club.
I want to see Kirk get turned in Virginia.
Yes.
I want it to be 3:00 in the morning on a Tuesday night, and he's just like in the lobby of the hotel, just like, "Vision, did you have vacation juice? What happened, man?" And he's like, "No. I just realized I had a very good time tonight, Brian." All right. Hey, Kirk, go ahead. You enjoy your sleep.
Oh, your voice. Oh, man. It's too much.
This past year, Brian, I had the Ecto 1 review, and it was a real smash hit. And now I'm here in Brick Fair with all of you. And I'm just so happy. All right, Kirk.
All these girls in the club saw my review of the Ecto
1. Swimming. Olympic-sized swimming pool. He's swimming. All the clubs in DC. He's doing laps. Can't wait. Can't wait.
man, I is so looking forward to when we can go to a convention together again, Brian.
So when you see a platoon of people leave the convention hall in Virginia, and you're like, and if you're not a part of the group, you're not a part of the group. I'm not letting you.
Sorry. You know what? Nothing we can do about it.
No, I'm not letting you in. I don't want any of these other people. So in case you're like, hey, can I show up? If you don't receive an invite to go with the group, then you're not welcome in the group. But I'm not going to say that you're not welcome. But if you don't receive an invite and you see us leaving, just know you weren't welcome. These live streams are just Brian making jokes, Joshua laughing, and Kirk complaining in the chat.
I mean, that's what makes it work so well. That's the whole dynamic we've built the live streams around.
And guess what, Ron? You have nothing better to do with your Tuesday afternoon. That's why you're here. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. It's a combination today of the iced coffee, the water, and Noah saying, oh, nice. Brian has a Dynaco shirt like from Cars. His Cars fanboy spirit is shining today. Also, Brian's Bullwinkle impression is legendary. Oh, Kirk Wilson sounds like Bullwinkle. Ah, yes, you're right. Congratulations, Vision. Oh, Daddy's back. This is for Kirk's clubbing account. Oh, we got to set up a separate transaction area account.
An offshore account for that one.
Jeez. That is very welcome, Esh Daddy. That will buy him a half shot of a Yahoo at the clubs. Thank you very much.
Oh man. I feel like Kirk's mom would not be happy with us if we took him clubbing.
What does she need to know? She doesn't need to know nothing. When Kirk has left the home, anything goes. Anything. Just let me take Kirk Wilson under my wing as the clubbing aficionado. All right.
Under your wing.
Yep. I am here, German. Oh, I am here. It is so good to see you, Joshua. I have my big apple, but today I'm being very quiet.
I know. Last week. Oh, Andreas loves clubbing, though. He tried to get me and John to go clubbing with him, live with him in Hamburg, and we just weren't really feeling it.
Nah,
but that's totally his scene.
Oh, Andre's getting down and dirty in the clubs. I don't think I'm ready for that one.
Oh yeah. No, he is. He's always less than like 1 minute away from dancing and breaking out in song at any moment in his life.
He just seems like that jovial guy. You know, he's the guy you don't have to worry about when you go to the clubs. You just let him go. He's not going to get too out of hand. Kirk, I'm worried about. You know,
you don't know with Kirk.
Yeah. Let's see.
Kirk, where are you at? What right now? How come you're just in the chat?
He's got more important things to do, you know?
Okay, that's fine.
Let's see, Brian, you need to adjust your camera so we could see you looking at your computer with that voice. What?
I think back when you were doing the Kirk impression or something.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I got nothing for that one. Yahoo is like Google or Bing. Yahoo is really bad chocolate milk. It's not great. Every time I've had it, people are like, "This is the best thing," and it's kind of.
Oh, is that the stuff in glass bottles?
It can be, but they're also in the pouch, not pouches, but like the cartons.
Okay, because there's like some kind of chocolate milk drink I've had in glass bottles a few times.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay. Yeah, that stuff is okay. It's not as good as a lot of other chocolate milk I've had. Are you a big chocolate milk drinker?
No, because I'm at the point now where I'm old and I realize like this milk just has more sugar in it. Like it's just sugar, you know? And I'm like, but I will indulge in a strawberry milk every once in a while. Strawberry milk, that hits.
Strawberry milk is excellent as well.
Yeah.
Pink, brown milk, whatever the color is, I'm in.
Yeah, no, I don't discriminate. Any color of milk that I have in front of me, I'll drink it. That's fine. I'm not lactose intolerant. It's all good.
Chocolate milk is the one like unhealthy drink that John will have. And sometimes it's really embarrassing because we'll go to like nice restaurants and he doesn't drink pop or anything else. All he'll drink is chocolate milk. So he asked them if they have chocolate milk, like he's 5 years old. And I'm like, what are you doing?
So if you, let's say you're out at a professional business dinner, right? You got Dr. Lego at the table and you're ordering a drink. John just gets water or chocolate milk.
Yes. Yes. Those are basically the only two things.
No other vacation juice.
Correct.
Okay. John, we gotta talk. we gotta, yeah. Blue milk, yeah, I could drink blue milk too if I like Star Wars. Which I only like The Mandalorian, full transparency. But as I've said 1,000 times before, I think.
Particularly whenever Matt is on the stream.
Yes.
You know what was really fun though is there was a this year at Scareback, actually, the show in Denmark, we were going to do a chocolate milk tasting because last year they did like a whiskey. I think it was like a whiskey tasting, I want to say. And we were like, well, we should do a chocolate milk tasting where you have people bring different chocolate milks from around the world, wherever they're coming from, and then you try them out. Because every time we go to Scareback, John and I always go to the local grocery store and buy up a bunch of chocolate milk to have on hand in our fridge so that we can drink, and then if anybody who comes to our cabin can have it as well. So in future years, if we ever make it back there, that's our goal.
That sounds like fun. That sounds wholesome.
Yes.
That is the exact opposite of what we will be doing at the clubs in DC. Alyssa, chocolate milk pairs well with basically everything. I haven't found anything that doesn't pair well with chocolate milk. It depends on the consistency of the chocolate milk too. If it's like too thick of a chocolate milk, it almost becomes a milkshake in a way. But no, I'm not really like a big shake person either, so I don't know.
Yeah. Megan says, when I was in Australia, we had green milk, spearmint flavored. Never heard of that before. I didn't see that when I was in Australia.
The only thing close to that would probably be the Shamrock Shake at McDonald's that comes out once a year.
Oh, that's true.
Probably kind of same idea.
McDonald's has just horrendous shakes. I've never understood how any like of all the shake options that you can get out there from fast food places from anywhere, why anyone would choose McDonald's is beyond me.
You know, I have never encountered a situation where a milkshake has been worth it calorically to me, where it's like if I'm drinking it and I realize like, man, this is really bad for me and it's not even that good. Like if something's good and it's bad for you, I feel less bad, but nah.
Right,
Steak,
that's
I'm
true.
like, Pardon me for a second. I got to crack open the windows because it's 70 degrees outside. It's beautiful.
I know, it's crazy the weather we're having in November here. I don't know what it's like in where everybody in chat is from, but man, over here it's doing some crazy stuff. Record warm days. Colton says, why is Brian drinking mud? You know, whatever gets you through the live stream.
It tastes good. You don't drink mud?
Occasionally I do.
Yeah. I actually like the Shamrock Shake, but yeah, everything else is pretty mediocre. Yeah, pretty much.
Brent says, what about Steak and Shake? The Steak and Shake shakes are amazing. That's like, they always take inexplicably long to make them though. Like you'll order and it's like a minimum half an hour later or something to get them to you, and it's completely ridiculous. But besides that, they're amazing.
Half an hour?
Yeah, that's kind of how everything works at Steak and Shake. They just take long for everything. So if you expect that going in, then it helps.
That's like a weird company policy. It's like Steak and Shake, we take forever. All right.
You don't go there for the service.
Southern Cali just had frost in some spots. Crazy. Ooh.
Yeah, I think we've broken a whole bunch of like November records for how warm this weather has been here in Indiana, at least.
Yeah, this weather is reminding me of like early summer. And then it reminds me that this past early summer, nothing happened. Everything was shut down. It's like, oh,
You're like, what was I doing when I last felt this weather? Oh, that's right.
nothing. I was sitting inside watching Tiger King like a schmuck. So on Twitch, I'm watching Tricky Bricks, Richard and Flynn build the Diagon Alley.
Like right now?
No, I mean, no, I mean, I would much prefer to watch them right now than talk to you.
I didn't know if you were like had it pulled up on a screen and you were like.
No, sometimes I'll do that when I'm recording videos. I'll pull up like a live stream and I'll just put it on in the background because I'm like, that's just something else visually going on.
Yeah.
No, but I'm watching that get built on their Twitch stream, and I'm realizing just how long it takes. Because I asked them, I'm like, hey, how long is this taking you to build this? And he's like, well, I'm building like 1 bag per hour. Oh, how many bags are there? 21 bags. Oh, okay.
I told you when you had all these plans laid out for the 24-hour live stream, and I was like, man, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, especially with how much I like to talk and interact with the chat. That's gonna be
Yes, there's a reason I get so little building done on these streams and on the 24-hour live stream.
And Kevin's right. Sometimes he literally plays video games when he's co-hosting live streams too. Well, Kevin, your chat isn't toxic, so I don't have to monitor. I just got to look at the chat, talk to you.
Kevin, if you weren't so boring, he wouldn't have to play video games while you're talking.
True. Kevin Hinkle's boring. Nice. That's it. That's the narrative I've been pushing for.
Colton says, I watch Beyond the Brick all the time. Love the great ball machines. Well, thank you. Yeah, GBC videos, always fun to watch. We haven't posted any real recently, but we have an immense backlog of them. So if you want to go back and watch them, we have a lot on the channel.
Gotta boost those numbers, baby.
That's right. Our most popular video, which is a great ball contraption video, I think just passed 30 million views.
That's incredible. Good for you guys.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That 35 cents in ad revenue can work out real nice for a Happy Meal toy. I'm curious, are there people watching the whole 24-hour live stream, like for real? Not typically the whole thing. Usually people will watch in chunks, or they'll watch all of it maybe after the fact. But
yeah, we have had people say they watch the whole thing after it's done and put online. But yeah, most of the time, no one's going to sit and watch the entire thing while we're live. Though people will watch a lot of it. We have people who watch quite a bit.
I am thinking of ways, successful ways to keep people energized as well as myself energized. So if you end up watching into late in the night, it will be worth your while, not only entertainment wise, but also based off of things and events that will be happening. So.
Oh, sounds like fun.
When are we giving the people more info on what's going on here, Joshua?
Yeah, I need to. I was actually thinking this morning about how I need to put a post up so that people can start signing up on to join us and everything. So either later today or tomorrow at some point, I think I'm going to put a post on the Creations for Charity website, which will let everyone start to sign up, and so then we can send you the link to join when it's ready. And then also get the Tiltify campaign out there for the Diagon Alley set that we're raffling off through Tiltify.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a Diagon Alley up for grabs for anybody who helps contribute to the Creations for Charity Tiltify campaign when that launches. Stay tuned to all of our social media channels to see that information. It's going to be hot.
Yes, it will be. It will be very exciting. There's several questions in the chat of like where it will be streamed. So it'll be streamed just like these quarantine casts are every week. Same platforms, same everything. So just tune in like you normally would, and we'll be here just for a little bit longer than normal. That'll be the only difference.
A little bit longer than normal.
Alyssa says she can barely stay awake past 9 p.m.
Well, you'll just have to take advantage of the long weekend, as it were, and try your best.
Yes. Maybe make it to like, 11 or midnight if you're feeling really crazy.
Yes.
Staying up all night, it just comes pretty naturally to me, which I guess is nice. So it really makes it's not difficult for me to just stay up all night if I feel like it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm the same way, What was the date? The date of that live stream, it will start on Friday, November 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have all sorts of starting times and whatnot. There's going to be so much information that you're not going to want all of it, but you're going to get it.
That's exactly right. It's always lots of information. But yeah, we will we'll have that all out very soon. Start raising money with the Tiltify campaign. Help support the children.
Jang and Ganaj need to make a guest appearance on the 24-hour live stream. Well, considering I've called Jang Bricks a coward so many times on these streams, I don't know if he's incentivized to come back. But if he does, that'd be great.
It's just a tough sell at this point.
It's a tough sell.
Here's a question from Ethan. Well, first we'll look at a Milan's comment. Do you think Jang would do a 24-hour live stream? I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe he would.
I don't think he would solo, because doing a solo 24-hour live stream that's like entertaining is a lot of energy. But I think if he had the time, he would probably try to stop by the Beyond the Brick 24-hour stream.
We'll see. We'll see if we can line him up. I think producer John can work out something there.
And I also have a list of people in mind that are inclined to join, that are good people. So don't you worry. It's going to be a stacked roster.
That's right. Yes. Ethan was wondering, hey Josh, what type of Lego mock do you like to review the most of the channels? So for me, the mocks that always get me most excited, that I personally enjoy doing, are things that are related to my interests. So a lot of like the historical builds, particularly the military history builds, obviously something I'm super interested in. So those types of builds are the ones that I personally enjoy covering the most, but I realize there's a lot of other types of content out there that we also need to produce, because not everyone has the same interests I do. So that's why we try to diversify and cover a range of things when we're at a show. But personally, definitely any of the like military history or just generally historical builds are always my favorite. Brian always takes the mic on the tour whenever Zelda or Pokemon comes up.
Yes, rightfully so.
Though now I can recognize the stuff from Zelda. So I'm not completely lost when I'm looking at that. But Pokemon, still no clue. We've done 31 episodes of this. Brian's always saying weird names of Pokemon, and I still have no idea what he's talking about.
And you know what? That's okay. Kevin says he's going to stay as far away from humanly possible from the 24-hour live stream. Oh, you're showing up at least for like an hour.
You got to at least pop in.
At least. No.
Did you not mention that's part of the contractual obligation of past co-hosts, is to come in for at least part of next year's stream?
Yes. Even Boone, who was doing Lego Master, showed up. Okay. So will there be any animals present for the 24-hour live stream? I don't have any pets, unfortunately. So no, not on my end.
Not any planned animals, unless like a bat or a squirrel or something gets in my house that day and is running around. Nothing planned.
That would certainly make it more interesting, though.
Kevin says Brian will not be able to properly identify Zelda references either unless it's Breath of the Wild. Well, that's all that anyone really builds from is Breath of the Wild. I don't think I've really seen a lot of Zelda builds that weren't from that.
Yeah, you know what? You're kind of right. From what I've seen, at least as of recently. And I can piece together a couple of things from other Zelda builds. But yeah, I don't have experience with the game. So yes, you're right, Kevin. As you always are, clearly. Oh. No, it says supposedly a Tom Holland Zelda movie was coming out, but that's been semi-debunked. Nah, that's all those kids on Instagram. They talking, Noah.
Has a Zelda movie ever been made?
No.
Wow, I'm surprised.
A lot of people are too. The big issue with that is that Link is a silent character, so portraying that on film, that's tough. As well as if somebody were to talk with Zelda, or rather Link's voice, then that would be breaking part of what the character is supposed to represent. So that's why they haven't done it yet. I don't think they found a good way to do it quite yet.
So he's never in any of the games said anything.
No, other than a couple of, voice clip sound effects, nothing.
Wow, I don't think I realized that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. Link is one of those like self-insert sort of characters, so yeah. Excuse me, Brian. I make non-Breath of the Wild builds. Yes, that's true. You do. And I know what those, I can tell what they are. Where is this piece?
Alyssa says, remember when Pikachu spoke to Ash? I lost my mind.
Oh.
That,
No.
Pokemon reference.
Oh, no. That was a bad one. That was a bad, oh, man. So, okay. So the way it works, Joshua, I'll explain this briefly for your fair weather mind.
Thank you. I thank you for always explaining these things to me.
Yeah. So Pikachu, and the way Pokemon work typically is that if you are a Pokemon trainer, you can understand what Pokemon are saying because you have a connection with the Pokemon and you understand them, right?
Right.
So Ash can understand Pikachu, even though Pikachu to normal people is only saying Pika, 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 Pika. So he can understand it, right? And that happens all throughout all the movies, the anime, not the game. Well, the game's kind of, whatever. It always unfolds that way. And so there was a Pokemon movie that came out, I want to say last year or the year before, and it debuted in theaters around the world. A very small run, but it did. And it was a reimagining of the first Pokemon movie, which is a good movie, in my opinion, objectively too. It has a good moral lesson to it as well. So in the movie, Pikachu is always doing the Pika, 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 typical, like normal. And then, spoiler alert for anyone out there who cares, which is probably no one, toward the end of that movie, there is a section where Pikachu is about to die. And I forget, Pikachu like sacrifices itself for Ash. And in this moment of clarity, Ash like says something to Pikachu. And then Pikachu, in regular plain English, in the voice of a small Japanese girl, said something to Ash. And I remember there being a recording of the movie theater when that clip played, and everyone watched it. And then as soon as Pikachu started talking, everyone's like, what the, what, whoa, no, like lots of like, what was that? So, the voice actress who plays Pikachu is a Japanese woman, as far as I know. So they used her English voice, as far as I know, for that moment. So it was weird hearing Pikachu be a small Japanese woman in that moment. So it's
when you put it that way, it sounds like something I've got to see now.
Yeah, there's a clip of it online. I'm sure if you just type in Pikachu speaks English, it'll pop up. Other than Ryan Reynolds, of course.
Oh, right. So at first I thought that's what you were talking about, but this is a completely different movie that it was made. Okay.
Entirely different movie.
Wow. Man, I just missed out on so much.
You do. And you know what? You might be better off.
Voice of a small Japanese woman.
Yeah, don't play it on here, John. There's people that are like, what the, Pikachu is a girl confirmed. It's always been that way.
Alyssa, yes, says it's NSFW. Don't open it, producer John.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Man, I feel
John was compelled to play it anyways, but
I'm feeling what you said earlier. Now it's getting warm in this room. This is so weird. I'm so used to the cold weather coming in. I feel like I need the air conditioning on.
yeah. I have a really nice cross breeze between two different windows. It's like perfect. Ryan Reynolds is great as Pikachu, but it's a bit strange, but I don't know squat about Pokemon. It's just a different interpretation. Like it works, in my opinion, as a lifelong Pokemon fan. Ryan Reynolds also voices Link. I didn't hear that rumor, but hey, there you go.
It would be interesting to make the movie where he doesn't say anything, but how could you? I don't know how that would work, but that would be like a really crazy experience to watch a movie where the main character never says anything the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Alyssa's starting the rumors right now. Gotcha. She is the Instagram kids. Okay.
She embodies the Instagram kids.
Pikachu has not always been a girl. Female Pikachu have different tails. Brian's forgotten his training. Oh no, I know that. I am almost certain. I think before they introduced that as a thing in the shows and in the games, all Pikachu had the same tails, Kevin. They didn't have the heart-shaped tails back then. And I'm pretty sure Pikachu is supposed to be a girl. And if not, then in that movie, that's absolutely a Japanese woman talking to Ash. So you can watch the clip for yourself. Excuse me, Mr. Saviano. Pikachu has not always been a female. All right, Kevin. All right. I don't know where this piece went. Whatever.
Kevin's just trying to keep you honest.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Alyssa, so true. I'm just like, can we please move on from Pokemon?
What else you got to talk about?
Nothing. That's the problem. We just end up here. Oh.
Oh, Kevin watched that in the movie theater. Ouch. Sorry about that. Studio Ghibli should make a Zelda movie. I feel like Studio Ghibli is way past dealing with a Zelda movie. They can make whatever they want, but thank you for the super chat. So you got anything good going on this week here?
No. Nothing comes to mind.
Nice. How's the house coming along?
Good, yeah. So been in there a few times, and just getting stuff set up over there. So I think it's coming. I've been setting up utilities and things, all very boring, adult things you have to do.
Oh, those adult things. Ugh.
I'm trying to figure out why there's some pieces that don't appear to be lining up here, and I don't know if I did something wrong.
It's supposed to be lighting up.
Lining up.
Oh, gotcha. Lego David wants us to talk about Lego. Well, if you come up with an interesting topic of conversation, maybe we'll talk about Lego. Or maybe I'll just talk about food for the rest of the live stream. How about that? Maybe we'll talk about taxes, capitalism, democracy. Who wants to talk about capitalism and taxes? Kids, anyone? Hands up in the chat. Who wants to talk about Star Wars and how great the Star Wars franchise is as a whole? Anybody?
Taxes are more fun.
taxes are more interesting than anything the Skywalker saga of movies has to offer.
Taxes are very important, kids, especially
pay them.
if you own your own business, as Kevin Hinkle found out.
Yes, as plenty of us have found out.
There we go. Okay, I think I figured it out.
Any thoughts on the Lego World Builder platform, which released this summer? No. Sorry. There's a topic of conversation. I'm just like, no.
Nope. Have nothing to say about
that. Got nothing, fam. Sorry.
Hashtag too soon for Kevin. I know, man. It sucks.
Okay.
As a frequent con attendee, Brian, what can Lego cons do better?
Everything. Which is a very general answer, but I would say everything. By me going to conventions like PAX East and other comic conventions and whatnot, they learn to strike a balance between making programming that is interesting as well as keeping it cost effective and giving value when you buy your ticket. And to me, a lot of the Lego shows are based around getting a bunch of people into a spot that wouldn't normally be there and having fun in that spot, but there isn't necessarily a whole lot to do when you're there. And I think that, I mean, this is my opinion as someone who's not a builder. So
right,
that's me.
That's an important point. So that's the same. Whenever I think of things that I could see, you would like to see improved or done differently at shows, it's very much from the perspective of what I do at a show, which obviously is go in, record videos, talk to builders. So I think it depends. You've got to make a distinction between like what you're looking to get out of a show and what it is that you try to do. But anyway, go ahead.
I think that with a Lego show, I don't know, like a lot of it still seems very cobbled together in not necessarily a good or bad way, but a lot of it just seems like there needs to be this coat of polish to go over the whole thing to like streamline everything. And it seems like Kevin has talked about in a lot of different shows over the years, podcast and whatever, there's a lot of things that each of these shows do relatively okay, but none of them do them all perfectly. And none of them seem to want to do better because they're sticking with the formula that works instead of trying to go more outside the box and bring something different and bring something that people didn't realize they wanted until they had it. I also think with Lego shows, it's very flawed in the sense that there's a big distinction between having the fan Lego days and then having the public days, where a lot of the adult fans are like, no public, but a lot of the fans are like, here, I'm just here to enjoy Lego as a thing. The adult fans that are there, in my opinion, should be more than happy to talk about what they have built with people and show it off and whatnot, because if you didn't care, then why are you there? Why are you showing your stuff instead of just putting it on Instagram and calling it a day? So when a 7-year-old walks up to your table and he's like, this is amazing, you should want to talk about it, not just not have nobody at your table, you know, like that's not the point, you know? So I think that's a very big issue that adult fans see the public as, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk to my friends. And it's like, well, you could do that anywhere. You do that right now. Like, I don't know.
No, that actually reflects a lot of my biggest complaints. I think the fact that there's so little emphasis put on being there for the public and showing off kind of what you've built and using that as an opportunity to really inspire like kids and families that show up to go do their own builds. I think there should be much more emphasis on that. Now, I also say that kind of selfishly as well, because when builders are there on public days by their builds, it makes what we do far easier because then we can find them in chat. So I really, like that aspect of it. But I also do think there's a lot to be said for interacting with the public. And it's just amazing. There are some builders who are really, really good at this. So one builder that pops to mind is Mark Cruikshank who a lot of people might know from the bearded builders on Lego Masters. He was Boone Langston's partner on Lego Masters. If people haven't seen him at a show or anything else, he is amazing at interacting with the public. Whenever he has he builds pretty big builds typically. Whenever he has a big build on display at a convention, he's there almost the whole day, standing there talking to people about it. And you just see how much more people get out of it when they're able to interact with the builder and chat with them like that. So I think that's super cool. And I wish there was more emphasis put on that and less on, there are definitely some shows that approach it as the public is like an inconvenience that we have to have just to cover the cost of this show, but we're really only here for, the AFOLs and for the private time that we get to spend together.
That's such a flawed way of looking at it, not just from like being a welcoming show or person perspective, but also a business perspective, which those guys, even if you don't care about the public, you got to open the doors. You got to treat the public well. You got to provide value for them. Like it aggravates me to Kingdom Come, which is what has driven me away from like going to shows out of my own free will. Like I didn't go. I went to Brick World Chicago because a friend of mine wanted to go as well. I went to Virginia because Kevin convinced me to go. I went to Philly because Kevin convinced me to go. But I've never gone to a Lego show because I wanted to out of my own independent 100% free will. It's always because someone like coerced me into going. And then, the next show is probably going to be, I'll be with Beyond the Brick covering stuff or whatever. But I think of like what PAX does and what other shows do, and they give you so much, and there's so much camaraderie and community that is there more than any Lego show. I'll be totally honest with you. Community isn't just involving the people that are already in the community. It's introducing more people into the hobby and bringing those people together. So you can't do that if you just have the same 100 people in a convention hall for 5 days and then you let 3,000 people into the public. There needs to be not as much of a fine line there between we are the AFOLs, those are the Fairweathers. Like, no, that's not how it should be.
Right. And Joseph Sawada mentioned in chat, Kat Harris, that's another builder that definitely does an amazing job kind of interacting with the public. When she had her big Harry Potter, I guess it was Diagon Alley, right? That her massive Harry Potter build. I believe so. I get Harry Potter stuff mixed up, but I believe that's what she built. Anyway, she would like go through every single building with like the public and everything and stand there and talk to people. And I think she had like lost her voice by the end of the day, but it was such an amazing experience for the public who were able to stand there and interact with her and see that stuff. So yeah, it really makes a big difference.
That's what people pay to go and see those things for, and Joe has a great point right here. It seems more like artist showcases. And you know what? If you're running one of these shows and you feel that way, like that's great, but that's not what is going to inspire kids to come back and to see new things. Like the more that you provide in terms of value to a show, the better. And if I were running a show, I would be like, all right, let's make sure it all gets paid for because we got to break even, make money on this thing to keep it going. But B, there needs to be people that are there that are focused on delivering a good experience for the public. Ergo, what would be a me or a Boone Langston or whoever that's like there, like, I'm not trying to impress the 5 people that are already fans of Lego. I want to introduce more people into the Lego realm, which is what I believe it should be all about, Brian, stop giving out our secret business plans. Well, you know what, Kevin? We can give out all the business plans we want to because nobody else out there is going to have the courage to take the advice anyways. So, and if
that is somewhat true. I mean, these conventions have been around for a lot of years now and haven't really shown an interest in kind of switching it up too much. I mean, for the most part, they're still run very similar to how they've been run for 10 plus years. So I don't think you have to worry about that.
No, and you know what? I would much prefer, maybe not much prefer, if this ended up becoming an actual thing that we did, but I would prefer that they do because then that raises the bar for everyone. And then it's going to have higher expectations. And there was no reason that Lego couldn't be in the same public eye view as a Comic-Con, as a whatever, because it has that draw. You can make pop culture things that are crazy. You can bring people in because it's genuinely impressive stuff. It just needs to be run not just as something for the Lego fans, but we're going to put on a good show and we're going to do it, and it's going to be big. It's gotta, you know.
Yeah, like Kevin says, very little evolution on the AFOL convention scene, and I think that's true. I mean, as I think back, we've been doing this just shy of 10 years now, and I mean, going into a convention is almost exactly the same experience as the very first show we went to. Very similar feel in the way it's run and everything. So that's very true. There really hasn't been a whole lot of like crazy you know, unique things and that sort of stuff that the conventions are trying. It's pretty standard stuff. And I
Yeah.
think at the end of the day, that's because, again, the focus is on the AFOL, so they're not trying to do new things for the most part, or that sort of stuff.
Right. And that's why I love going to a PAX more. It's just it's night and day. Night and day, how they're run, how they're presented, what they bring to the table. And you know, it's funny when I hear that, you know, y'all say like, you know, Scareback or Brick Fair, Virginia is the biggest Lego show of the year. Meanwhile, I walk into a convention hall in Boston and there's 80,000 people there. And I'm like, all right, well, cool. But I think there's a lot of lessons to learn from those big shows to bring down to a Lego show in an effective way with a smaller audience and then build it up over time. But I don't know the business stuff. I don't know any of that. I would love to, you know, if and when this all falls apart, I could see myself being in like a convention running, like helping a company do that, you know, when the world isn't in flames too, something like that, because I think I have a good eye for that.
I think a lot of it also comes down to there's a definite feeling at a lot of shows among like the people who run them, um, that they don't want it to become like a big business thing. They want like a small community feel to it, where like using mostly volunteers and that sort of thing, which is fine. Except then it's very difficult then to build it and grow it and do those things like you were talking about with like the public and more
Yeah.
interaction and that sort of stuff. When you're kind of completely relying on volunteers and trying to just keep this really like small community feel to it.
Yeah, you can keep it that way, but I think it's in the natural order of business that it's going to grow bigger, and you either learn what to do and get the resources accordingly, or you don't, and you got to be satisfied with the result either way. I know if I were running a show, I would absolutely not do it by myself. You're out of your mind, not even a little bit. I can't handle all that. I don't think one person can handle all of that effectively and allocate time accordingly and all that. It's so tough. So, and if the business is not going to grow, well then how can it be a business? Like that's the point, isn't it? Right? Like that's why you go into a business. You're making money to, you know, you don't want to do this. You want to do this, you know?
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I think some of them don't look at it as a business is the thing. So that's why they're not necessarily in that mindset.
Which sure, hey, you know.
Yeah, no, it has been very interesting over the years to see the different approaches each the kind of the show organizers, you know, to all the different shows have taken, and kind of the way that they run the show and everything is uh
Yeah.
very different from show to show.
It's also tough because all these different Lego shows are not Lego. It's not Lego running it. So they will never have the same resources that Lego themselves would have to make a show. And Lego has done their own shows like the Lego Life, they've done Kids Fest, they've done whatever, and they've ended for their own reasons. And you know, if the company themselves cannot see a viable, consistent convention going experience directly from the company to provide, then, you know, what does that say about the viability of it in terms of fans making it too? You know, so I think that's an interesting conversation and something to look into there. But Lego Life, when I went in New York in 2018, I think was very, very interactive. They had people who knew what they were doing and talking about presenting information and interacting in a professional way. And this isn't to knock anyone else who is at these shows and they're just a fan explaining things. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that leave their build at the table all weekend and go hang out with their friends offsite. Like, that's not the point. It's just not. So, I mean, yeah, during the time of the doors being open just to the adult fan, sure, hang out with your friends, go wherever. But like, if you're there to show off your creation, and especially if you're a content creator, like, you got to be there. You just have to. There's no way to me you can justify not being at the show while there are people there that want to see not only your work, but also what you bring to the table. If I were in Washington, D.C., looking at the Smithsonian's while I knew there was some kid or whoever that was like, I want to see Bricks O'Brien, nah, I'm going right back. I'm not being at the Smithsonian. Not a chance.
Yeah, no, that's, I think, a really good point. Yeah, and I think that starts with the the convention organizers. I think if they would push people to be like, hey, it's really important that we interact well with the public and spend as much time there as possible and stuff, I think that would make a big difference. But they just don't put much emphasis on that.
Hey, what do I know? What do I know? Nothing. I think Lego David asked about if will Brick Fair happen next year, assuming COVID pandemic continues? Well, provided that recent news of a vaccine turns out to be stellar, which it's looking positive. If it were under the same circumstances as this year, no, it would not happen.
That is, Brick Fair Virginia is the next Brick Fair show on the schedule right now.
Yeah, and so right now there is a pharmaceutical company who has a 90% effectiveness over their clinical trials. So if they get, vaccines out by the end of this year to those who need it first, and then et cetera, by what's that show? August, right? September?
Yeah. August, first weekend in August.
Yeah, that could happen. But like PAX East 2021 that takes place end of March, no, that's not happening.
Right. Yeah, the first shows that I have any hope of making it to are in June. Brickmania has their show in Minneapolis, and then the next weekend is Brickworld Chicago. Those are the only shows that basically the next shows we have on our schedule that might happen.
Yeah. And that doesn't just go for Lego shows, that means any show. Any type of convention, anywhere. So yeah, that's what I think. I felt this way for a while about different Lego shows, and it's not a dig at anyone, obviously, or any show in particular, but it's obviously an incredible amount of effort that goes into.
Right. I don't want, if someone's listening from a convention or something to what we're saying right now, it's not. I'm certainly incredibly thankful for the work that everyone does at conventions.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. But I think the question that started this conversation was sort of what could be improved or what would you do differently? And there are definitely things that kind of have continually been issues for a number of years.
Yeah. And it's not just one person that it's going to happen to. It's going to have to be a good team that does it. Got to have the right people involved.
Kevin says the 2021 AFOL shows will be like Jurassic World, one family per giant glass bubble and touring the expo hall on a timed track.
Pretty much.
The bubbles will be made out of Mindstorms.
I mean, it's definitely a different vibe at those shows. It's more relaxed. It was so unique going last year to Brick Fair, Virginia. It was unlike anything else I had been at. And it was fun. But I was working. Like, the actual show, I think if I did work for Beyond the Brick during that time, it'd be a different experience.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of technically are working the whole time, but it's always very fun and still super enjoyable for us.
Yeah. A Beyond the Brick run convention, Boone, Brian, Joshua, John. Yeah. You know how many resources that would take? It's a lot of energy.
I think John and I have thrown that idea around over the years. Or sometimes people ask us if we do our own show or anything, and I don't know. I guess there's never been enough of an incentive for it where we felt like there was, I don't know, something that we would bring that wasn't already out there, sort of thing. At
I
this
think
point,
if-
and also, yeah, just the amount of work and everything was a major.
Yeah, the work is obviously a big part of it.
Yeah.
But I think if you brainstormed for long enough with the right people, you could think of something. I think if anyone would you would need a good team of people. Like an important part, here's a good piece of life advice, everyone in the chat here who wants it. A good lesson to know when you are in charge of something, a business, a group project, or whatever otherwise. It's important to know your strengths and weaknesses, and not only that, but also to acknowledge it and to not be afraid of it. And you can't say, oh, I can do everything. Well, maybe you're not good at the financial portion of running a show. Maybe this guy is. All right, can this guy help? Maybe, like, instead of me doing all the graphics, I know I'm going to do a moderately job or poo-poo job. Let Kevin Hinkle do it. You know, you get all the right people to help with a little bit of whatever it's going to be, and you're better off that way. So to anyone who's doing something entirely solo, it's not easy. And especially if you want it to scale up and do everything, it's definitely not easy.
Yep. It's very, very good life advice there.
That's why Joshua doesn't do any of the video production, anything at all. He just sits there, looks pretty in front of the camera while John does everything else.
That's exactly right. You know, you got to find what works for you.
Right. You got to find the right people to convince them to do something for you. And there you go.
Kevin says he can't redeem his coins here, Brian.
Yeah, I actually have that as a feature on my Twitch channel where you can redeem, like, you earn channel points as you watch, and you can redeem meow coins, as I call them, for a good piece of life advice or a bad piece of life advice. So whichever you want.
Does the bad advice cost more?
No, they're the same.
Oh, okay.
They're the same.
I gotta mute myself to open this next bunch of
No
parts.
Life advice with Brian. I love giving life advice. If anyone needs any philosophical life advice here on this Lego podcast, you let me know. I am the friend you call at 3 o'clock in the morning when your life falls apart and you're like, I don't know what to do. Well, here's exactly what you do. I'm like a consultant for your life.
I'm very bad at giving advice. I've always felt bad because I feel like, given my life experiences, there is more I should be able to offer at this point, and I just always feel like very inadequate whenever I'm trying to like give any kind of like life advice to anyone.
Really?
I can't put my like thoughts and advice into well-formed sentences that I don't know, that I feel like get the point across that I'm trying to make.
Interesting. I have taken a lot of my life to make sure that I am good at giving life advice. Well, it also, I guess it's because I can just articulate my thoughts in whatever way I can, kind of on the fly, in a way.
Right. So I think that sort of skill makes it much easier.
Yeah.
So you're very good at that.
Golden Light, what is the meaning of life? Do you want a serious answer or you want a funny answer? Because I can give you both. Brian, the hamster is stuck. How do I get it out? So you're going to get a lot of peanut butter, lots of peanut butter. And what you're going to do is you're going to scoop it right onto your finger, and then around the edge of the hamster, a little bit of peanut butter. And then you're going to jimmy jimmy the hamster a little bit, and then you're either going to push out the front or you're going to push him back, depending on how far he is into the hole. So you're going to like either boop the hamster's nose a little bit, or, push his bum, right out the other side of the hole that he's stuck in. And then, don't be too forceful because you don't want to hurt your hamster, of course. But, there you go.
The important thing is like Costco-sized levels of peanut butter.
It's like a lot of peanut butter. Whatever you define as a lot of peanut butter, multiply it by 1.5.
See, look at how easily you can give great life advice.
Right, it's great. Dave Morgan says, meow coins. Does that mean your advice is meowvelous? I like the way you think, Dave. In terms of both answers for what is the meaning of life, to me, well, it's subjective. To me, the meaning of life is to enrich others through reaching what you perceive as your best potential in life and bringing happiness to those you surround yourself with, and reaching your full potential in terms of your career, your own happiness, your own perception of who you are, and for those around you. The joking answer is 42.
Matt stopped by just in time to hear that incredible piece of advice.
There you go. Hello, Matthew.
Kevin's in here pimping himself in the chat. Is that allowed?
From anyone else, no, but him, it's fine.
Okay, if you say so, we'll allow it.
We don't allow the solicitation of advertising from 6-year-olds who want to get 5 subscribers on their YouTube channel. But an artist who takes commissions that does incredible artwork, we are more than happy to host that.
We're happy to let you sell yourself out as long as you do decent work.
Yes, of course. Dave says that's an awesome definition for the meaning of life. Thank you, Dave. See, that's part of who I am. I am the jokester. I am Mr. Funny. I do the funnies, but I also can get serious. But y'all are like, oh no, but Brian, you're the guy that only tells jokes, aren't you? Ha ha.
You have so much more to offer the world.
I do. And you know what? That's how I like it. More than meets the eye. I'm like a transformer.
That's why we're here 31 episodes in, still going strong.
Exactly. I'll start taking calls. I'll put my phone number in the chat. If anyone has any life issues, we'll talk about it.
I've always wanted to do like a radio call-in type show. But
I do too. So badly.
I've always thought that would be fun to try.
I want to. I obviously don't want to give people my actual phone number, so that's part of the issue.
We need to figure something out, Brian, then, because I think we could do something cool with that. We
could go with this idea. We could there could be, oh man. All right. No, we'll talk. I have an idea. We can make something work.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential there.
I can answer questions like, what is the meaning of life? But I can also answer questions like, if Mario or Luigi were real, which one would you have as a housemate? I would go with Luigi, because if there were any chance of ghosts being in the building, he would alleviate them.
That's just the one skill you're looking for.
Yes.
But what about if something goes wrong with your plumbing?
Well, Luigi's a plumber too.
Oh, are they both plumbers? Okay, it's not just Mario.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I guess you're covered.
Yeah, exactly. Hey guys, how's it going? Brian, what are you building? I'm building myself a better future using stable financial advice in the form of compounding interest on whatever you're financially investing in.
See, that would be
building. What?
That would be my part of the call-in show. Would be travel and financial advice, and then Brian would have everything else set.
Joshua Hanlon is the Dave Ramsey of the Lego community.
I'm the Rick Steve / Dave Ramsey of the Lego community.
There it is. No, I'm building the burrow from Harry Potter.
That was they released one of those a number of years ago too, right? I remember seeing that.
Yes, they did. They totally did.
Okay, I got to keep moving along here to finish this on this stream. We're good.
What bag are you on?
13.
Okay, you got 15 bags. Are you going to transform it into the ship on the stream or no?
Yeah, if it's not too much hassle, does it take like a fair amount of effort to do it? Then maybe not if it's going to take me too long.
Maybe about a half hour. I don't know.
Oh, really? It takes that long? Well, then probably not.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I only did it once and I kind of put half the amount of effort into it, but
I'm still trying to decide if I'll display it as the ship or not. I have to see what the island looks like because I want to put it either the ship or the full island behind me here on display. So I got to figure out which one will work best.
Yeah, so the golden light, the way I would do it, the issue is that you need to have people on that have we need to come up with a topic, right? If we had a show or like a segment of a show, and then we also need to have someone vet whoever wants to be on the show, so that way they're not shenanigans. They're not like
right. That's what every radio host, has their producer that they're always referring to.
Yes, which could absolutely be John, and he totally has it within him to do it. Like, I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying like he's able to. He's not like, he's someone we could trust, obviously.
Yes.
So, that would be what would happen. But what the topic would be or something like that, I don't know. But we will talk, Joshua, because that's a good idea.
One of my all-time favorite radio call-in shows was a show called Handle on the Law. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I don't know how widely syndicated it was. It was on a radio station around here. I think it's still on. It's been a while, but it was a guy who would give legal advice, but most of it was just him like berating people for like their horrendous like life decisions and like crazy legal stuff that they were wondering about.
That's great.
I mean, some of it was legitimate legal stuff people would call in about, but a lot of it was just like him hilariously making fun of people for doing ridiculous things that they needed advice about.
It's like, hey, so I just killed my cousin. Any way I can get out of it? What? What do you mean?
Yeah, it was like the people who would call in and the situations were just so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something I would want to do. I haven't done it on one of my shows because I don't have a producer that I could work with like right out the gate.
Right.
But like, and there are some people I know for a fact I can trust if they wanted to call in, but then it's also some of the other people who are like, well, why can this person call but not, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, obviously if you could just screen people, then it'd be great, and you could just do like a normal radio show.
Yeah.
Milan says the ship version requires less space than the wrecked version, but the wrecked version looks better. So how you're going to display depends on the amount of space you have. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, I gotta look at it completed and then look at the size of the shelves back here and see what I can make work.
Joseph Zawada, I would actually trust you compared to other people. I know you're there for the shenanigans. Well, also an issue with my thing is that I am family friendly. So, and we are here too at Beyond the Brick, but like, if we set the precedent, I feel like it could, if someone slips up, it's not a big deal, but if someone slips up on my end, it's like I get the mom squad like,
Yep, they're like, why would you let somebody come on and do that?
Right, exactly. Like I can't. No. The children's ears are pure, Brian. Their words are not.
What they don't realize is what you say when you're not on camera.
Yes. Oh, only some people know. I am a sailor. Now, not like I'm not like a horrendous person off camera. I'm not. Let's make that clear.
I
It's
want
not like
just to defend myself here. I'm not like,
right. Like I'm not like an awful human being. I'm just, definitely, I'm not like, oh, hey kids, off camera,
Brian doesn't suddenly turn into like a white supremacist when he's not on stream or something.
Yeah, I do not have a white hood in my closet. I'm good. I'm all set. I have a blue Bricks O'Brien hoodie that you can buy at shop.bricksobrien.com.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
And an inflatable Luigi costume.
Bro, I wear that.
Joseph Zawada is actually worse on live stream chats than he is in real life.
I believe it. Totally believe
Some
it.
people, let that wild side out when they're on camera.
Yeah. One day when this all hits the fan, you'll see me turn Bob Saget. One day. The inflatable costume stream is a new classic. Well, thank you.
That was a great stream.
I can't believe neither of you even thought about Halloween. I was like, man.
I know it honestly, I always forget it. It's so small on my radar. It doesn't even like register with me.
So I assume you're not going to be the type of father who like dresses up with their kid for Halloween. You're just going to be like that stern like father in the chair. Like, you kids have a good time on Halloween now as you watch your program.
like straight out of like the 1950s.
Yes. the bowler hat, and you're just sitting there, no cigarette because smoking's for losers, but you're just sitting there,
I mean, I could possibly see me doing it with my kids someday. Like that's different. Because then, it'd be like a family activity, and if they're into it, I could see myself. But just like personally myself, there's not a ton of big interest.
Yeah, if someone kind of dragged you into it, you would do it.
Right.
Not of your own volition.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense. Moto says, be nice or I will turn you in. Sorry, Moto. Forgive me, Moto. Also, hey, shout out to you, sir, with the Christmas decorations you recently put on your Instagram feed are killer. They are.
Were they
stellar.
Lego builds or just Christmas?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They are.
I gotta check them out.
So good. They're like minimalist and so well done.
I've either lost a piece or I misused one of that. It's always annoying. A lot of times in sets where like there's 1x2 pieces, and some of them don't have studs on the side, some of them do. And then I'll use the wrong one in the wrong spot and then figure it out too late.
Yeah, it makes sense. I have this giant jug of water that I bought here. This is like, I think, a half gallon or close to it. The reason I did this is because on the side of here, it says the times in which you need to drink your water by, because I realized I do not drink enough water. I don't think most people do either. So I bought this to like, hey, by 3 o'clock, you should be this far down with your water. And you're like, as soon as I woke up, I needed to have like almost a third of this bottle. So like, that's how I knew like, oh, I don't drink enough water for sure. So it helps.
I've been drinking far more water over the last couple of months. I gave up coffee and pop just because the caffeine was becoming too much for me, and then also with like creamer that I put in coffee, and then obviously calories in pop, I realized that it was just like very bad for me in general. So I've been drinking way more water, and it's been very good for me. So it's definitely been a healthy life decision.
Yeah, I don't put any cream in my coffee. I just limit it to almond milk, which is better for you overall. But yeah, cream, I couldn't. I usually get like 2 shots of like flavor and no sugar. So I try to like, I don't go full. When you see me drinking an iced coffee, it's not like, oh, Brian's getting 5 sugars and 3. I've seen people get crazy coffee orders like that. It is ridiculous what some people get in their coffees.
Right. See, that was me doing that sort of stuff, and I was like,
Oh
"This is
man.
too much,
Yeah, that's
and
too
I
much.
need to stop." And it's definitely been good for me.
Like eventually I'll make my way toward black coffee, but I like having the seasonal flavors too, you know?
Right.
Yeah, like I could totally see if someone gets a mocha frappa hatata patata at Starbucks every day, how that is very detrimental to your health. Like, nah.
It's not also if you're getting it from a place like that, just the expense as well. So it's like
Yes.
there have been a number of good factors that uh have been helpful since I stopped doing it.
Yeah, totally.
And I could never be a black coffee drinker. That's definitely not in me. So it was either creamer or give it up entirely.
Yeah. I feel like if you have a good roast, you could do it.
Maybe I'm just not having the right type, and I suppose I would get used to it eventually. But in so far, my experience is too much. It's just too much.
Yeah. Some coffee have like just like a natural flavor of like hazelnut or something in it.
Mm-hmm.
So like a little more there, but yeah, I got you.
Are you gonna have the whole jug from Dunkin' like Kevin had last year during this 24-hour live stream?
No, I haven't come up with a food game plan quite yet. It's definitely gonna start with dunks. Definitely at 5. Right at 5. Bam, there we go. I will probably have an emergency bottle, like cold bottle of iced coffee in the fridge over here. I'm trying to think of like how much I'll need. So the thing is, when you eat and you live stream and you do this sort of thing, there's definitely a point where you eat too much and you're in a food coma, and that's bad.
Yeah, that's not what you want. See, I try to eat. Yeah, I end up eating very little throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. So there's a fine line between giving yourself enough food for energy, but not enough for food coma. So my mistake was I ended up building some of the Super Mario sets when we had them before launch.
Mm-hmm.
And on Saturday, I built the Bowser's Castle, the whatever. And I built a couple of sets, and then I ordered pizza from Domino's. And I got a medium-sized pan pizza with, I think, just like feta cheese and chicken or something. And I had half of it, and I was like, there's no way I'm continuing this live stream. I'm done. Like, can't do it. So if I end up getting pizza, which I think I will, I can't have what I would normally eat for a meal otherwise.
Right.
And yes, Alyssa, we are planning my game plan for the 24-hour live stream food wise.
I end up usually having a meal of like some leftover stuff from Thanksgiving dinner. So like it'll be like rolls with like turkey on it, that sort of stuff. So usually like someone in my family will bring that up to me at some point. And then a pizza gets delivered usually at some point, surprise pizza from Stuart Roll usually every year. So I'll end up having some pizza. Those are the two main. That's like what I have sort of like Friday evening, Friday into the night. And then Saturday I'll have like a little bit of something. Maybe if my family's making breakfast or something, they'll bring me something from that. But I usually eat maybe more towards the beginning and then don't have much throughout most of Saturday.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to have a lot of fluid in terms of soda or coffee, water,
Right.
definitely water. I don't know what my Thanksgiving plans are, so I don't know if I'm going to have access to leftovers. Not that I normally do anyways, because when I go over my aunt's house, there's usually a big divvy up of like people bring stuff, but then they also take a bunch of stuff when they leave. So there's only the scraps of the dark meat left.
Oh, no.
And as we get closer to the 24-hour stream, I'll go into the full indulgence of my Thanksgiving stories. But a pro tip for anyone out there who's making Thanksgiving food, don't make the stuffing and have onions in it, in my opinion, because they always, every time I've had stuffing, it's always very mushy. It all goes together. It's like almost soggy, and the onions are like diamonds in the stuffing. It's nasty. Don't do it. It's gross.
I'm not a fan of stuffing in general, so yeah, that's like the one Thanksgiving food I've never gotten behind.
Good stuffing is good. Really, really, really good. But it can apparently be easily messed up. So
Kevin says, don't forget that you get the traditional pizza delivery from Stewart for everyone outside the state of Connecticut. Oh, I forgot because Kevin doesn't have anywhere close enough to deliver his pizza, right? Oh yeah. Man, he couldn't get in on that tradition. That's the real reason he's not returning to host again.
Can't get the pizza.
It's like, what's the point if I can't get the surprise pizza?
Exactly. Enthusiastic Banana says Domino's is nasty. Oh, I agree. Moto just finished eating an entire chicken from the grocery store. You know, I've had that for a meal one time, and a lot of you might be like, you ate a whole chicken? What are you, fat? Like, oh, you ate a whole chicken from the grocery store. It's actually not that much in terms of it's a good like meal to eat. It's like the white meat chicken that's like rotisserie style. It's really, really good.
Oh yeah, no, that like rotisserie chicken stuff is great, and yeah, you don't feel, it's not like super greasy. You don't feel bad after eating it.
Nope, not at all. You shouldn't feel bad after eating it if it's decent chicken.
My dad sometimes likes to smoke meats every once in a while. He's got a smoker. Usually he does it on the weekend when there's a Notre Dame football game, and we'll have it then. So this past weekend, Notre Dame had like one of the biggest games they've played in the last like 30 years against number one ranked team Clemson in the country, which, by the way, they went into double overtime with it and ended up winning. Everybody stormed the field. It was insane. Great game. But he smoked like 3 chickens. So he made one that was like spicy, did like Frank's Red Hot. He did one barbecue, and then another one just had kind of a general seasoning on it. And it was amazing. It's like the smoker makes it super moist. Turns out great.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. The funny thing is that I've obviously gotten used to it after having this many years, but reading Stuart's comment in the chat, expect something soon, Kevin. So did you guys give? Wait, Stuart, who delivers the pizza?
Stuart Roll. He does GBC builds. He goes to the Brick Fair shows. So one of the years, a few years back, he just out of the blue, I think he texted John or somehow got our address. So I had no idea this was happening, and then had a pizza delivered, but it was delivered at like 1 a.m. And so John goes down and gets it and brings it up. And I'm like, what in the world is this?
That's amazing.
It was like 1 a.m. at that point. And then Stuart said he had it delivered to us. And ever since then, at some point during the stream, he's delivered a pizza.
That's very nice.
It always hits at like a good time too, when I'm like starting to get hungry as it gets like late and I need something to get me through the night. So it works well.
Totally.
Kevin, he's so sad. I'm sorry. I love these pirate minifigures in this set too, because they're like the original pirate minifigures. The prints are pretty boring for the most part on a lot of them, and what they can do now is just so much cooler.
No, Joshua, everything they did back then is flawless. This new stuff is not good.
I mean, I have a lot of affinity for those sets. I grew up playing with them, but definitely the print has improved a lot.
No, Joshua, new thing bad. My childhood nostalgia is more important.
Yeah, for a lot of people, that seems to be the case. Or in Kirk's case, he wasn't even born for his nostalgia.
Yeah, no, he was not existing. Brick Vibe, hello. Hey, where's my order? He has a brickling store. That's why I bought stuff recently from him. Where's my stuff? No. I know it's in the mail.
So demanding.
It's on the way. It's a big jug of water.
That's right, Kevin. It is a very kind gesture from Stuart. Stuart's a great guy. Super cool guy. Always love seeing Stuart. He usually joins in the stream as well. So usually I think what he does is he'll order it and then join the stream around that time as well. So he'll probably pop into the stream at some point.
Oh, Brickvi told them to send me rocks instead of Lego. That's great. No, thank you. Thank you. It's appreciated.
I'm liking how this is coming together here. It's looking good.
Okay.
You gonna finish the burrow today?
What bag number are you on?
I just opened 14.
And if you're not going to turn it into the ship, then probably not.
I'll see what I think. Maybe I'll turn it into the ship just so people can see that process on camera.
Yeah. Anyone else want to throw in an alley-oop for a conversation here to keep us going? I got to come up with like a topic list for the 24-hour stream. Just like something to pull from.
Yeah, fortunately, there's kind of always other people, so there's usually not a lack of conversation because of the amount of other people that are in the stream. And usually they'll take it in tangents. There's always, I'm sure they'll lots of talk about whatever movies or TV shows, that type of stuff. I guess there hasn't been a lot coming out recently to talk about their Mandalorian stuff. I'm sure will get brought up a number of times.
Mm. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Technically, yes.
No, not for me. Definitely separate categories.
What's the average amount of people in 24-hour streams? In previous years, it has been 6 because that's all StreamYard allowed. And before that, it was 10 with Google Hangouts, right?
So they actually allowed 10 last year. And then between last year's stream and now, they switched it, but now they switched it back. So we were able to have 10 last year and we'll be able to have 10 again.
Cool.
Yeah, which is nice. So we will get as many people involved as possible. But, don't think we won't ban you as well if you're out of line.
Look forward to it. No shenanigans. No, if anyone's going to misbehave or anything, you're gone. And that's it. You get escorted out the front door. And that's it.
Right. Out of the green room.
Yep.
And you're asked to never come back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always a great time. You'll enjoy it. I'm excited this is the first time you've ever done a 24-hour stream. I think that's cool.
Yeah, you would think with me being a professional live streamer, I would have done it at some point, but no. I have not. Josh, can you speak to the overall vibe of the different conventions you attended? What's the different kind of cultural or feel of them? Thank you, Moto, for the very awesome question.
Yes. So there's a lot of different directions you could go into there. Side note, this is actually something that when we give our keynote address at conventions, which we did last year at Brick Fiesta and we're supposed to do this year at Philly Brick Fest and Brick World Chicago. Hopefully we can do that in the future at some point. This is something we go into a lot of detail about because it's something a lot of people are interested in. But yeah, every convention has their own vibe for sure, whether it's within the US or international shows. A lot of that comes down to the people who run them. And so the people who run them have their own unique personalities and kind of their approach to running it. And so then that creates a different vibe for the show. One of the biggest differences that you see with the shows is the type of builds that are on display. That's really the biggest thing because the AFALs for the most part are pretty similar no matter, what show you're at or whatever, the average AFAL and, who you're interacting with. But the builds that are on display are what changes the most, I would say, dramatically from show to show. So like Brick Fair Virginia has a crazy amount of military builds, far more than any other show. Brick World Chicago pulls out like the massive train layouts, all of the like Midwestern and East Coast lugs that have their big train layouts come there and everything. Um, Brick World Chicago also has like really big collabs like Virtual Lug and Eurobricks and stuff. So like the collabs thing is really big there. Um, so that I would say is just kind of is the biggest difference is just kind of what types of builds are on display. And so it depends on what you're looking for. If you're super into military builds, then like Brick Fair Virginia is the show I always recommend to people. BrickCon in Seattle has always had like a massive space showing, so like big, really fantastic spaceships because there's a lot of really good space builders out in that part of the country. So that's kind of a lot of what you get there, along with castle stuff. But they just don't have the space for like big a whole bunch of big train layouts like Brick World and Brick Fair can do. There are some differences in games as well. So a lot of the games are the same for each show. There's kind of standard ones that are done, but there are a few that are unique to some of the different shows. I don't tend to participate in too many of the games just because we're busy talking to people, recording videos, doing whatever. The biggest difference, yeah, is just the types of builds that are on display as far as the feel of the show and what you're going to see there. The other thing that can make a big difference as far as like the culture of the show and kind of how people interact is whether it's in like a convention center, whether there's a hotel connected to the convention center, or some of the shows, a lot of the shows, people have to leave where the show is held and go off site if they want to because it closes at night. So that makes a big difference. That's one thing that I've always loved about Brick World Chicago is the fact that it's open all night. So no one ever has to actually leave if they don't want to. And it makes talking to people and just hanging out a whole lot easier, which is really cool. So yeah, that's a lot of my thoughts on that. Then when you get into international shows, you do start to get like the builds change a lot because they're builds based on much more sort of like local culture and local architecture. So you'll have, you know, an Italian lug that is 20 people that all build this like massive layout of their like local town center from the town they're from near Italy, wherever it might be. So it's that sort of thing. A lot of them, the international shows, have far less pop culture than American shows do. There's a lot more pop culture builds at US shows than international ones. The international ones, people are building based off of their local architecture and culture and stuff like that. I feel like a lot more, which has been interesting. That's one reason that our coverage from international shows doesn't do nearly as well because the builds that we cover, while they are good builds, just don't have the broad appeal that a lot of the builds from US shows have. So that's one reason, you know, we've always approached international shows and trips as much more for fun than it is totally about the Lego and conventions because the stuff just doesn't perform nearly as well. I hope that answers the question.
I would say that does. So in terms of, well, yeah, you kind of already answered this. So when you have an international show, it's definitely a different definition for it being a successful show for Beyond the Brick as a coverage of builds content channel. So what would you consider a successful trip to an international show be like for Beyond the Brick?
So for me, I view international shows as much more from a networking perspective than a pure video perspective, especially the Scareback show in Denmark, where you get tons of designers and Lego employees and lots of people from Lego. It's just really good to interact with all of them and keep those relationships going. So same thing with some of the other shows, like the Fan Weekend show in Portugal, the one in Japan, those types of shows, even like Brickvention down in Australia, see people that you don't see at other shows there. So we go into it from a video perspective. John and I go into it with very low expectations. And if a video does do well, like for instance, from Brickvention, there was like one of the GBC videos did really well. We've actually just recently, somebody had a Thomas the Tank train layout that's done super well over the last few months, surprisingly enough. So when something like that takes off, obviously that's great, but we don't go into it with the expectation that stuff will do well, which we do go into a lot of US shows like Brick World Chicago, Brick Fair Virginia in particular, those two. Like we know we're going to get, you know, a number of videos that do very well, like over 1 million views sort of thing from this show, because that's just, you know, the type of builds that are there and the size and the detail and quality that are there, and the content of the builds. So the international ones are much more like networking, interacting with people that we don't see anywhere else, and then also just doing other international travel in addition to it is the big part as well. That's always been kind of my approach to it.
Turns out I make a lot of progress on my Lego builds when I'm not talking. So with that being said, for the 24-hour stream, if other people talk and I just stay silent for like an hour, I can get a lot done.
That's true. Maybe that Diagon Alley will be go quicker than you think.
Yeah. No, but that's good that you can still find something to do at those shows, and it's not just about videos for you guys. And I agree with, like, in America, the pop culture things definitely resonate more, and that's what I would use if I were, planning a show. Like, hey, the more Marvel or blah blah blah, whatever we have, the better, because that's what people attach to. Where, as I've noticed with buildings and whatnot, some of the larger scale builds that don't necessarily have a tie to a theme only go so far, but if people can relate to it on another level too, it just resonates a lot more too.
Right. Another reason for that is the fan weekend shows like Scareback, the one in Denmark, the Portugal show, Japan. Those shows are basically not reliant at all on the public. Because they aren't held in big convention centers, their costs are much lower, so they really don't care about the public at all. Because unlike U.S. shows where they at least need the public there to support the show, so even if they don't care about them, they have to be there. These shows don't even need the public at all. Which is that makes it very frustrating for what we do. So not only with international shows do you have you've got a language barrier most of the time, where like a lot of the people either can't speak English at all, or if it is, it's their second, third language and maybe isn't the best, which is understandable. Obviously, we're going into a different country. But then you also, because there's so little emphasis on the public, no one, like far worse than US shows, no one is by their builds.
Yeah.
Like during the public hours and stuff. And so finding people to talk to, like at Scareback, is just so frustrating, trying to track people down and get them by their build at a certain time.
Yeah.
So I forget was there a specific question? Did I go off on a tangent there? I forget what I was referencing. Anyway,
Moto has another good question that I want you to answer while I turn into Mario for a minute. What do you miss the most about attending conventions? I've gone to the Brickfest Alive in Denver because it's local, but not the big ones. Moto has not been to Brick Fair, Virginia, or Brick World. Wow. Wow.
So for me, definitely the biggest thing is the people. For sure. I like earlier this year, especially when like June, July time, when it was clear that like the big shows like Brick World and Brick Fair weren't going to happen, it was really hard for me just like mentally to know that I wasn't going to see any of those people that we normally see and have seen for years, year after year here at all of those shows. So that just not seeing those people and not being able to interact with them was definitely the toughest thing. But then also I just not having content for the channel was frustrating as well, because I know how talented the builders are that are out there and how much incredible work everyone's doing and how much our viewers love seeing all of that. And so I, love being able to provide that to them. And so not being able to provide people with the normal content that we normally would was also frustrating, just because I know how much people enjoy it and how much both the builders enjoy having their work featured and how much viewers enjoy getting to see all the builds from shows that they can't go to. So those two things are definitely the most frustrating. As far as travel, we did an incredible amount of travel last year. And so actually like a bit of a break from that has been helpful in some ways. So I haven't tremendously missed the travel portion of it. Just last year we ended up going to all 7 continents and we're gone a ton. So it's been nice to actually slow down things a bit with the travel portion of it, but not seeing people and not being able to feature builds has been the hardest part. No, I'm talking too much and not getting any building done. Let's see. So bad at finding parts. There it is. Yeah, Kevin says I just miss having 3 to 4 hour meals with friends at shows. That's true. Yeah, like the meals you can share with people are always amazing. Just chats as you walk around the convention hall. How does this work? Oh, I see. Use the pins to attach this. There we go.
What's Mario's favorite pizza? Probably pepperoni.
Pepperoni is a good option.
I can't have pepperoni pizza anymore.
Oh.
No rebuttal. Just like, oh,
I'm just sad for you.
No, the reason is because whenever I have pepperoni pizza, there's always like buckets of grease that come out of the pepperonis, and I'm just like, man, it's a lot, you know?
Yeah. I still love it though. But I've gotten into I like a lot of any variations of chicken pizza I really like as well. So like barbecue chicken, like a spicy like Frank's Red Hot chicken, especially like chicken and bacon with like barbecue or hot sauce. Anything like that is always really good.
Classic Bricks. No, I don't only play Nintendo games. For example, I play Minecraft, but I also play a variety of other types of games as well, both personally and for videos. I'll be playing Miles Morales Spider-Man Miles Morales on PlayStation 5. If I can get one Thursday, I got to go look online, see if anywhere has them near me.
Moto has another question. How much footage do you shoot compared to what makes it to the channel, or is there that one piece that you think back on and wish you could have featured? We post almost everything we shoot because there's so much to cover at a show in such a limited amount of time. Basically, we shoot 90% of everything in the 2 public days, so like Saturday and Sunday, because that's when everyone's by their builds for the most part. So we don't have time to go around and be like, oh, well, maybe we'll make a video out of this. Maybe this is something we'll use. We've gotten to the point, we've done it enough years where we're very much tuned in and are like, here's, we'll walk around on the non-public days as people are setting up and most stuff is set up and identify as much as possible what we want to cover. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we just try to go like nonstop banging out all of those builds as much as possible as soon as we can find the builder nearby to do an interview with. So we post what you see on the channel is like, 95% of what we shoot at a show. There's very little that doesn't end up making it to the channel because we just don't have time to record stuff that we might not use. Because like I said, it's basically 2 days to record everything here. As far as stuff that is something we wish we would have featured, there are some builds from our very first show, Brickworld 2012, that I know were on display, that because it was our first show, we didn't really know what we were doing. That would have been great to cover. There was a massive Virtual Lug Alice in Wonderland display. Tyler Kleitz and Nanon, who have done a number of really cool collabs over the years, had a big display there that would have been cool to cover. So there's that. But for the most part, at least in recent years, we've gotten kind of good enough at identifying what's popular and what we're interested in that we're able to feature everything. One thing we've done more recently, because we didn't realize quite how popular it could be, is the train layouts. So we've featured over the last couple of years some train layouts that have been very popular, and so looking back, I kind of wish we would have done more of those because people really like them. And I personally just have like zero interest in trains and Lego, so because of that, we didn't cover many of them. But seeing now how popular they are and how much people like them, that's something we'll do more of in the future whenever we can go to conventions. Joseph Zawada said, I remember one time I was in a collab and I almost missed the B2B interview. I was eating lunch in the car and got a frantic phone call. You started the interview without me. Well, I'm glad you made it. Was that the Marvel one? It was from one of the Marvel movies. Age of Ultron, I want to say, if I remember correctly, Joseph. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the one I'm thinking of. But I'm glad you were able to make it in the video. It wouldn't have been the same without you.
Not the Marvel one, the Castle one, apparently.
The Castle one. Huh. I don't know if I remember that. It was a collab. There was the Zelda Castle video we did, obviously made famous through the meme. But if there was a different Castle one, maybe I'm not thinking of it right now. It is very difficult after all of the conventions and all of the builds we cover to keep things straight.
You think it's weird that some people are like, "Oh, that's Beyond the Brick. We could get an interview with Beyond the Brick and get oh wow." Like people like think it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's still, even after all these years, it still surprises me sometimes. Like that people have such a strong reaction to like seeing us at a show or being interviewed by us. And obviously I think it's really cool. But yeah, it still surprises me that I guess people are can be like that blown away by meeting us at a show or something, which is just a weird experience for me. Because in my head, I don't see myself that way, I guess, and so it's always strange when someone has that sort of reaction.
I wasn't blown away when I saw you guys.
That's perfectly fine. You know, if people aren't blown away, that's also a perfectly acceptable reaction.
Joshua and Brian are the only two humans I know that have random parents ask to take photos with their kids. Really?
I feel like, Kevin, you've got to know some other people who do that.
Yeah, there's got, I mean, maybe.
But it's true, yeah. A lot of the kids especially, they're very into it.
I guess I'll try not to freak out too much if I meet you guys at a show one day then. Well, so whenever I have met someone, like either I meet someone I follow online or I meet someone who follows me, I am nervous about making a good impression on both fronts. So whenever you are meeting someone that you idolize or whatever, I guarantee you that person is also worried about making sure they don't say something stupid just as much as you're making sure that you're not saying something stupid. So I always feel that way. So yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about like keeping cool because like I get it. I understand it because I felt that way too. But then I also realized that like a lot of the people that I follow on the internet who have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers or whatever, like they're just normal people too. And they want to be treated like a normal person. And if you just use your normal voice and you're just like, hey, like, you know, don't say like, I'm your number one fan. That is probably one thing I can definitively recommend. Don't say that because they've probably heard it 1,000 times before. Just say like, I appreciate the content you make and I've been following what you do for a long time. And I wanted to say thank you for all that you've done. Like there's a certain way that you can go about it that you can like make yourself stand out and not be a weirdo about it too. But whenever I've interacted with people that I look up to, me being myself and just leveling with them on a human level is like the best thing to do.
Right. Then that is actually a really cool thing. One of my favorite interactions is always when someone says, yeah, if they've been watching us a long time, like even if they were fans like all the way back in the original podcast days and stuff, that's always super cool. So if you have been a fan of someone that long and you can even reference like, you know, some old piece of content they made or something that, you know, probably doesn't get brought up very often, that's super cool. I always appreciate that because it tells me that this person, yeah, is like a true fan that's really been around for a while and really knows what we've done.
Right. Totally.
My concern, and I try not to like get this too like in my head, is always when someone has such like an energetic, amazing reaction to meeting us at a show or whatever it might be. I always feel like, because they're having that reaction, they have like an image in their head of who I am as a person that I can never possibly live up to. And so I always do my best and try to be as nice as possible in everything in interactions. But I walk away a lot of the time feeling like, well, I probably didn't actually live up to what the image that they have of me in their head. And so then maybe I left them disappointed or something. And that's always been my struggle. And I've talked with other people about this before and stuff, and they're like, well, it's, they still love meeting you and everything, but that's been, I think, my number one problem, like struggle with that stuff.
There's a reason why there's a phrase that says don't meet your heroes. And I've made sure whenever anyone has ever met me that I am like welcoming and the best self that I can be in that moment. And even if I'm like off, I still like to be as best of what I know I am in that moment. And I'll tell you about like not a bad experience, but a lackluster experience that I now understand as someone who's been in a similar-ish position. So I went to Rhode Island Comic Con, I want to say in 2015 or something like that. And I went with my friend Alex. And the main reason we went was because Charles Martinet was there. He is the voice of Mario, Luigi, Wario. Really awesome voice actor, very energetic guy. He's been voicing Mario since Mario had a voice.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he was there. And so, this convention hall is filled with thousands of people. And the line to meet him is relatively short in this moment, but there's a lot of, people with Mario hats on, getting things signed from him and whatever. And so I went up to meet him, and the first thing that happened was I ended up talking to a representative that was from the show, not his guy.
Okay.
Like, hey, what would you like from Charles? And it's like, well, okay, I would like to get a picture. How much is a picture? A signed autograph picture is like $40. And I'm like, for a signed picture or whatever. Anyway, okay. Can he sign my Super Mario 64 cartridge? And he said, yes, that'll be $60. And I'm like, really? Okay. All right. Yeah. So, do you want a photograph with him? I said, well, yeah, sure. So if you use your phone, you can do that. We offer pictures that we have here for $60, or you can use your phone to take pictures with them, but it's $25 per photo, whatever. And I'm like, really? It's
Wow.
$25 to take a picture with my phone with him, and then I brought the item for him to sign, but you're still going to charge me $60, whatever it was. It was a pretty substantial amount for what it was. And then for the picture and the blah 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 blah. And then not only that, but meeting him he wasn't more of his energetic self that you would see. It was more so him being a real, human being. And you put these expectations in your head and whatnot of everything. And I'm like, okay, so it was really expensive to meet this guy. And, it was not everything that I expected it to be. And the reason why, because I asked about like why are you charging for every single item or whatever, and I was talking to the representative, but Charles Martinet was right next to him, so he could clearly hear everything I'm saying to this guy. It's not like it's some I walk around the corner and he's there. It's like this is a business transaction happening right in front of him, and apparently the venue said, we have to charge for every single item. That's just how the venue does it. And I'm like, all right, that's stupid. Whatever, sure. And I never understood that for years. And so fast forward to like me now. So there have been people that have sent in things to my P.O. box that have been like, can you sign this and 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 literally like a dozen things that they'll put in a package for me to sign. And I'm like, okay, do you want my like, this is a lot of things.
Right.
That's a lot. I've also met up with people before and they have purchased things to have me sign, and I've signed like 10 things for one person. And it's like, okay, at this point, do you want my autograph on this thing because it's valuable to you to have it on this specific item, or because you just want my signature on everything? Not that you're going to flip it on eBay, because that my signature is not worth anything like that at all. But why? You know, like, I would much rather sign the one game that either you bought because of a playthrough I did, or because it means that much to you, or it means that much to me. Like, I'll sign that, but I'm not signing 1,000 things for you. Like, that takes away the purpose of like what it is. And so now, as someone who's had that happen, I'm sure Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario, has ran into people that are like, hey, can you sign every Mario game I've ever had? And it's like, no, pick one. Come on. And that's why they charge. They don't charge because they want to make that much. I mean, they want to make money on it, obviously, but the charge is more of a, hey, don't bring 1,000 items. Bring one. Make it a good one. So that's why all those things happen. And I've learned that as I've gotten older, and I've been in that position too. I don't charge for an autograph. I don't none of that at all. Like, I'll sign it, but I won't sign 1,000 different things. I'll sign one really good thing, you know?
Yeah, I haven't actually had too many of those scenarios. I mean, I guess people, like, fan interactions I've had have never. It sounds like maybe you've had some more negative interactions than I have in terms of that sort of thing, of like someone expecting so much out of you and stuff.
There's definitely a line between people that, like, they just want more stuff from you rather than how do I word this? Then, like, getting an I don't know how to word it properly, but like, it seems like people just want like another autograph or another video, you know, another
more rather than like one genuine interaction or item that's like, you know, super meaningful. It's just like, give me all this stuff.
Yes, and that's the line. You don't want to be on the negative side of that line, because then if I feel that, you know, you're just trying to get my attention or my autograph because you think I'm famous or something, like, that's not the point. That's not it at all. Like, no.
But yeah, we also don't have like an address that people mail stuff into, so we haven't had any of that type of thing.
Yeah, and ironically enough, I put a mail video up today, and some people send up things, and I have a list of like rules in my description of the videos and everything else. Like, hey, don't send me stuff. I'm only autographing one thing per household. But like, and that's why, because unfortunately there are some people that take it way too far, and it's past the social etiquette that isn't necessarily enforced. But like, don't have someone sign 1,000 things. Just have it be one thing. And that's why those rules or those fees are in place, you know?
Right. That makes sense. But I do love meeting people at shows. So I saw somebody commented earlier and said they would be like too shy to come up and meet us. And I think, you know, I've heard that before, but I mean, certainly don't hesitate to come up and say something if if you see us at a show doing something. It is always great to meet people.
Joseph Zawada said earlier, I paid $60 to get a sig fig. Can you imagine? Yeah, I know, right? Joe, that's crazy. That's crazy that you pay $60 for some random internet guy's a sig fig on Creations for Charity. Well, in that case, it was 30 before, 30 or 35, and the inflated price was for charity. So, you know,
there you go.
That. And I marketed that fig. It's not a sig fig. It is a sig fig, but like, not in the Lego community. It's a custom printed figure. It's not just like a bunch of cobbled together pieces that I got on Bricklink to identify to resemble myself. It's custom printed from Eclipse Graphics. It's more, you know,
a higher end product.
It is because it's
Right.
custom, you know. I need to order an industrial box of fortune cookies and ship it to Brian now. I mean, so okay, you can. I say not to send me stuff because literally people have sent me like pop figures, Lego. I don't need more stuff. I don't want more stuff. Do not send me your stuff. I don't. But if you send me something, that's on you. You know, I don't know. I get very like specific about those sorts of things, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is stuff that you're getting in the mail and everything, so that's understandable. I'm very close to done here.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Yes, and John, you're totally right. A lot of the time it's like paying someone to be there, and that's a part of the fee too. And that's totally 100% understandable as well. In my case, yeah, like no one's paying me to be there. So like I would only enforce that sort of rule out of like, hey, I'm not signing 1,000 things, like at least just one thing, you know.
Yeah, I don't ever see us charging anyone to like for an autograph or anything like that. I feel like, I mean, what we do is so reliant. Without these fans, we wouldn't be doing any of this, and so I know to me it's kind of the least you can do.
Of course, yeah, and it's the same way for me too. And I've never done that in public, but it's only if people, yeah, they send things or I don't know, something.
Right, yeah.
Do you still hand out the Beyond the Brick stickers? I have like 5 now.
Oh yeah. We always hand out our standard like logo sticker, and then we'll sometimes have various other ones we'll give out as well. So like if you like the shows if we do like a special event like the keynote address we gave at Brick Fiesta, we had like special exclusive stickers that we only gave to the people who were at that sort of thing.
Yeah. I guess you've made it when you have to carry a pen for autographs.
I never have one, and whenever we're at a show, inevitably someone comes up and wants it, and then we have to track down a pen or something, and I probably should.
I've had people ask for autograph prints, shout out videos, all sorts of stuff. And like the shout out video thing happens a lot more frequently than I think anybody in this live stream would assume.
Yeah, no, I can see it. Joseph, we have BTB bricks. Have we never given you one? They aren't engraved. They're printed. Eclipse Graphics makes them. We hand those out at shows, just like usually most of the time it's to builders we're interviewing, or sometimes if there's like a kid who's a really big fan sort of thing, we'll give them one.
Unfortunately, I haven't been to that many shows where people have like met me. Like they a lot of people know of me, but like not out to meet me. So like I felt bad when I didn't have like anything to like give them or something.
Yeah. Okay. I took off the rudder support here, and the whole thing fell over.
Uh-oh.
Add the build cam to stream here so you can put this back under here for now. Here's the Canon. Okay, so I've gotta add it to the island now. Here we go. Make some space.
Real quick, if anyone has built the burrow, I don't know what kind of hobble cobble design this is, putting a recliner portion on this chair on the 3rd floor. You have to combine like 2 Harry Potter wands like this and then clip it in. It's the most asinine thing. Like you could put a bar there, bam, you're done. Why is it 2 wands? Like That makes no sense.
Okay.
That is. Oh, that's cool.
Here's the island. Let's see. How do you attach this? It's like that, and then
So wait, you got the bag done? You're done?
yes. So I'm
Ooh.
attaching this now. Can't really see it, but okay, there we go. There we go. Ooh, very nice. And then there's a ladder that goes on. Let's see. That goes on the back here. Oh, the ladder so you can get up to the back of it. And now it gives you instructions to so let me put the island all together, and then I'll see if I can put it into the ship.
Cool. Perfect example. Just kind of putting a end cap on the whole autograph discussion here for the moment. So Brick Star Wars Boy in the chat actually ended up winning a marble competition that I ran on my live stream. And so he got a $50 shop.bricks O'Brien credit. And as one of the rewards, he asked for a couple of things, and he also asked for an autographed poster. So in that sense, that one thing is totally justifiable and absolutely okay. So things like that are totally kosher when you're meeting someone that you want an autograph from, a t-shirt, a signed, or otherwise,
Right, that's an acceptable thing.
Yeah, just to end cap that. I don't want people to think like, well, Brian's going to charge $60 for an autograph now because Charles Martinet did it.
You're like, if it's good enough for Charles, it's good enough for me.
Exactly. Right.
Trying to get this lined up properly here. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's beautiful.
It's a nice looking island.
That is gorgeous. It's also massive.
Mm.
Looks amazing.
So what's interesting is that, you built this before the 24-hour live stream. So what massive, colossal thing are you going to be building on the 24-hour live stream if that's not the case?
It's something that I think people will really enjoy. Famous piece of architecture. Maybe related to your heritage in some way, Brian.
I'm Irish. Are you going to build Stonehenge?
Is Stonehenge Irish?
Is it? I don't know.
No, it's not. It's in England. John and I were there last year, actually.
Are you going to build a pub? I don't know.
I think it'll be something maybe related to that Brickset article that I referenced at the beginning of the stream about an ancient Roman monument. So we'll see what comes of that.
Trump Tower. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Since before the dawn of time.
Joseph, I do need you to ship me a Hyrule castle to build on the 24-hour live stream. That would be amazing.
Oh, Stonehenge is Scottish. Oops.
It's not in Scotland. It's way in the south of England.
I'm just trusting the chat comments.
I need a few super exaggerated eye winks, Kevin says. We'll just wait and find out, but I think it will keep me busy the full 24 hours. I can tell you that.
It better be a colossal size build. You know what I mean? Like a giant. Yeah, you ever play Shadow of the Colossus?
I have not. I've seen that game
no,
though.
It's bad. Don't do it.
Is it bad? Oh,
It's not bad. It's just
Okay, so now I'm gonna try to put together the ship here, but this island is so beautiful. I love it. What a fantastic set. Ideas is such a magical thing. Okay, let's see. How does this work? Am I gonna have to break things?
Technically, yes. Moto, thank you for all your great questions. You have yourself a good rest of the day, man.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, so you take off this part. That went decent. Should leave that. Okay. I'm quickly running out of space.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to need a bigger table for the 24-hour live stream.
I think I'll have a card table next to me to put stuff on. I think for that. That's what I've done in the past. Okay, then this just slides out here. This main section. There we go. And then I just take off the section that I just put on. There we go.
Leo, I have no idea what you're asking. So, sorry, man.
Whoops. Try not to break things. Okay.
It
So then
shouldn't take you a half hour. I don't know how long it'll take you, but it's a little bit of effort.
So it wants you to take off all of the like rundown parts of it.
Yeah.
Before you put it. Okay.
Sounds about right.
Oh, and here's I see the bag 15 part where you have to build extra portions for it. I guess I can do that right now then. Let's give that a shot. Too late.
Has anyone seen any good Black Friday Lego deals? I think Lego is actually doing a lot of their Black Friday deals early for VIP members before the day to mitigate people going to the store. That is if the malls don't get shut down by then, which becomes more of an unfortunate reality as the days go on. So I wouldn't count on anything being normal-ish at that point. But that's what I have seen. I don't know 100% for certain, but Lego normally doesn't have any fantastic deals. And as someone who's worked at the Lego store,
the deals have gotten much worse over the years too. Just like all of Lego deals on Black Friday, they've gotten so much worse over the years.
Yeah, all Black Friday deals in general, if I'm being honest.
It really used to be something cool.
Yeah,
back in my day.
Back in the before times.
So we've got a few pieces here to replace some sections with. Let's see.
Any video game deals, Brian? Probably not, considering the Switch is selling incredibly well. Nintendo doesn't need to do anything. They're having a bundle on the Switch with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe included, but that's about it. And PlayStation and Microsoft are promoting their new console, so there's not going to be any new deals because they literally are coming out today and Thursday.
You don't think people will have any discounts on them, any retailers?
Nope. They'll be too new.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't foresee any deals or anything notable, at least.
Yeah, they do a good job where you can just like pop a few pieces in here and there and make it all into a full ship.
Yeah. All right. So I think I have 2 bags left of the burrow. I'm probably going to complete that probably off camera, but yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
I'll try not to take too long putting this together. How's Mario doing back there? You got 2 Marios back there.
I do. Wait, do I? I got little Mario here. Oh, you mean the other Mario over on this set? Oh, the straw's blocking it. Hold on.
I mean the big giant one.
Which one?
The big giant one?
This one.
No, just a little over to the right, my right of that one.
What are you talking about?
That's looking at me funny.
I mean, you're a funny looking guy.
That's true. It's probably warranted.
Yeah. For a while, I thought the giant Mario and the brick was the brick built one in the press release. Dude, you don't know how big of a sting operation I would conduct to get that into my office. But then I'd showcase it in the background, and then people in Denmark would be like, how did he get this?
No more early Mario products for him.
That's not, Whoops, I blew it. Yeah, speaking of which, where's these 2021 sets, huh? Big red brick in the sky? I'm not asking for free stuff here. I just want the information. When are you going to get these official images?
Don't know.
Is this angled? Oh, it's not perfectly. Wait. Is it not anyone in the chat, is the burrow supposed to not be perfectly straight right here? It's angled a little bit. There's no way. Is that really the case? Oh, it is. Wow. It's angled ever so slightly. Interesting. Cool.
Whoops. Put this sail on backwards.
Doc Samson, hello.
Okay, so you've got to...
Probably in January or late December, Brian. I can't wait that long. I have the inside scoop with Beyond the Brick. I need some Lego employee in Denmark to send me a private email and say, hey, sign this NDA. Here are the images. And then I won't share them with anyone. I won't even say anything to anyone. I didn't say anything to anyone the first time. That's how you know I'm trustworthy. I wanted to tell everyone that I was getting those Mario products early, and I didn't tell a soul, okay? I can be trusted with the secrets. My uncle is the CEO of Lego and Nintendo. I'll ask him. Thank you, Joe.
It's all one large syndicate.
Mm-hmm. So this is the Hobbit hole, the burrow, the burrow right here. It's close. It's gonna be about that tall when it's done. Pretty good size. $100. So, Brian, throw me a frickin' bone here. I need the info. True. Yeah, the Instagram kids are quiet. They're talking about all this Star Wars stuff, and I'm like, listen, I don't care.
Don't annoy me with that garbage.
Yep, exactly.
There are a number of things you have to take off to put this together.
Yes.
I'm not going to do all the sales right now because I don't want to mess with that. I just want to see the whole thing put together.
Yeah, that's fair. If you just grab the Technic pins, you can do that pretty easily.
Yeah. There we go. I need to fix this sail though.
Yeah. What's your biggest build, Brian? Hogwarts Castle for now until Diagon Alley dethrones that. Which that will then be my biggest build.
How many pieces Diagon Alley?
I think 6K. Can anyone in the chat verify?
It's gonna be a hefty build.
Hefty boy. In case anyone is also itching at the gambit, I'll shamefully self-promo myself. The Build-A-Bob figures, more kits are being assembled soon, and these will be shipping out at some point in the near future. So, Etsy shop, baby.
Well, this ship is absolutely gorgeous. Oh man, I mean the island is cool too, but this ship also looks amazing when it's all put together. So I don't know. I've got a tough decision to make.
But so, okay, maybe this will help. Look at that island and look at how diminutive it looks now with the ship not involved.
Right. See, the problem is, the island kind of becomes meaningless after you take the ship off.
Basically.
Well, I'll have to decide here. Get measuring some shelves and see what I think. I haven't taken off all the foliage.
The what?
Foliage? However you I think I always pronounced that word wrong.
Foliage, yes.
Foliage. There we go. I think John's always telling me I pronounced that word wrong.
It's all good.
I like how the cannon ports are like fake. You open it up and there's windows down there.
Yeah. Where's the plank? I don't think there's a plank.
You could add one. There's a little above the ladder here. You could lay a little plank down.
So, for context, I'm looking at mine now. I have it set up on the island, but I have the sails attached normally.
Oh.
So I don't leave them rolled up. I leave them fully out.
See, that could be really cool.
Because having the sails folded like normal, how they're supposed to be, makes it look more full.
Right. No, this thing's super cool, though. I will have to continue to experiment a bit.
But you're good for what you got right now?
Yep, I'm good. I've finally finished, folks. No more Barracuda Bay on the quarantine cast.
Now, what's next? Is it going to be that Christmas set, or what are we doing?
Hopefully, we'll see. With or without Chris, I think we just got to go for it.
Yeah. So, Chris McVeigh, we summon you. Let's snap our fingers 4 times and say Merry Christmas, and there he appears.
But I think that's going to finish it for us today, folks. Wonderful stream. Harry Potter, Pirates, food, 24-hour live stream. We'll have all that info coming soon.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for chatting, as always. It's always great to have everyone with us. Real pleasure. We will see you on a stream next week, hopefully. Maybe it'll be a Christmas-themed stream. Maybe not. We'll find out.
Sounds
Bye.
good.